The 2020 Eurovision Song Contest is presented by Moroccan Oil. Live from the Netherlands, Rotterdam, the handover ceremony and official allocation draw of the 65th Eurovision Song Contest. Here are the hosts of Eurovision 2020.
Hello Europe, hallo Nederland. Welcome to the formal handover ceremony and allocation draw for the 65th Eurovision Song Contest. It's the official start of Eurovision 2020 and it's going to be very special.
We are broadcasting live from the City Hall of Rotterdam, and it's one of the oldest buildings in this vibrant and modern city. It will be the beating heart of the Eurovision 2020.
We are all very excited to be here for this special event, because in the next hour we will find out which of the two semi-finals each country will compete in. And these semi-finals are going to take place on the 12th and 14th of May.
And the grand final will be held on the 16th of May. So who will be the successor to our musical hero Duncan Lawrence? 41 countries are going to take each other on, hoping to win the chance to organize the 66th Eurovision Song Contest.
Up until last May, the Netherlands had won 4 times. In 1957 with the singer Corrie Brokke. That always sounds a bit weird in English. 2 years later, and now don't be afraid, I won't be choking, Teddy Scholte won with the song Een Beetje. In 1969, Lenny Koer had the Netherlands singing along with her song De Troubadour. And 1975 was the year that Teach In had an absolute classic with Ding a Dong.
And after that, it was really quiet for a really, really long time.
Yes.
Too long. Until last year, when our very own Duncan Lawrence won Europe over with Arcade. And to be honest, we just can't get enough of this song. So let's enjoy that fabulous moment once again.
So, while your votes are being counted, we'll take a trip around the world and find out how the professional juries voted.
Our 12 points go to the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. The Netherlands.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. The Netherlands, 12 points. Le Pays-Bas. Thank you. 12 points. The Netherlands are getting from the public 261 points. And now the Netherlands are in first place. Only 2 are left.
The Netherlands, which are currently in first place.
Or Sweden, that haven't received their points yet.
Who will be the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest 2019?
Sweden needs 253 points, and Sweden is getting from the public 93 points. That means that the Netherlands win the Eurovision Song Contest. Duncan is the winner.
Yes! Yes! This is to dreaming big. This is to music first, always. Thank you, thank you!
Wow. That was really great. That was nice. Last year, Europe took Duncan Lawrence to its heart. And his song is the reason that we are here and why we now have the honor to organize the host and biggest music event for the whole of Europe.
After Hilversum, Amsterdam and The Hague, the festival is going to make its home in Rotterdam. Today, the city of Tel Aviv officially hands over the Eurovision baton to our dynamic port city of Rotterdam.
And we are very happy that she's with us here today, the Deputy Mayor of Tel Aviv, Mrs. Zippy Brandt-Frank.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Good to have you here, welcome. Your contestant, Netta, has put Israel on the song contest map once again. And in May last year, Tel Aviv delighted us with 3 absolutely stunning shows. Please tell us how big the impact was of the Eurovision Song Contest on the city of Tel Aviv. It must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It had a tremendous effect. It was the largest and the most viewed international event ever held in Israel. We didn't have anything like this before. Sorry. Anyway, you know, for the city, the size of Tel Aviv-Yafo, it had a huge effect. I mean, everyone was involved, local businesses, the administrations, officials, the residents as well. We tried to bring together our special flavor, our special pluralistic nature of Tel Aviv with the high-tech scene, with our technological capabilities, and we were overjoyed to find out that Tel Aviv, you know, won the first prize for being the most successful Eurovision in the last decade. You know, right after following the event, we launched a tourism master plan, we launched a new protocol for sustainable events, and there were many, many new bilingual signs that we put all over the city.
Yeah, talking about that, more than 180 million people watched the live shows from Tel Aviv, and like I said, they looked absolutely wonderful. What other activities were going on in the city at the time, besides the TV shows?
We put up the Eurovision village by the coast, I mean by the beach, and it served as a huge hub for all the celebration, all the parties. It hosted dozens of local and international performances. We had live broadcast of the semi-finals and of the grand finals, and we especially wanted to enable those who didn't have tickets for the Eurovision to be able to watch it and to celebrate. We wanted all the city to sing with Netta and Kobi, and many did so.
It worked out great. And yes, like I said, it looked absolutely amazing. It must have been a wonderful time for your city. Yeah. And we have a lot of local Rotterdam officials with us here today, including their very own mayor. This is maybe a tricky question. If you had to give one piece of advice to them, to the people of Rotterdam and the Netherlands, what would that be?
First of all, you have to start working. It's a huge project and you have to prepare, really prepare. Then
start working.
Ask him later.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of residents who'd love to participate. You know, we had over 700 volunteers that helped us to host all the visitors that came over. We organized Shabbat dinners in the city, off the city, and people were able to come for Friday night dinners to, you know, to enjoy the Israeli hospitality. And more than that, we had a theme. Our theme was Dare to Dream. Do you remember? Dare to Dream. We dare to dream in the street. We dare to dream in classes. You know, in schools, for example, children were choosing the songs, their favorite song. It happened that in my children's class, you know, they chose just guess which song they chose?
Duncan Lawrence.
Right, they did, and they performed for that. You know, they might have known something.
And speaking of Dare to Dream, I'm always dreaming of more time in live television, but we don't have that time.
So I have to say...
so sorry.
So Dare to Dream Rotterdam.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good advice.
Okay.
I like that. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Brandt-Frank. I think we're now ready for the Insignia exchange ceremony. Please let me introduce you to the Mayor of Rotterdam, Mr. Abu Talib.
Welcome, Mr. Abu-Talib, and nice that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Very nice. Okay, this is a very special tradition, which was started by the Finnish host broadcaster in 2007. Since then, every host city has added their own personal touch to this extraordinary heavy keychain, and it's coming in right now. It's quite an unusual thing.
Yeah, they say that this Insignia keychain weighs more than 30 kilos, guys. Is that?
Wow. It's true.
I wonder how they will move this around in the future, because right now we are adding even more weight to it. And now, Mrs. Brent Frank, please go ahead and add your city's insignia.
That's ours.
That's that's a really nice one.
Yeah, it's an artistic
Really?
of Tel Aviv.
Please go
add it?
ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are really proud to announce the Eurovision Song Contest has officially moved to Rotterdam, the Netherlands.
Mrs. Brand Frank, thank you very much. You may take your seat once more.
Very much.
Mr. Abu Taleb, you get to stay with us a little bit longer, because your city is now the official Eurovision city for the Eurovision Song Contest 2020. And it's from your wonderful city hall that we are broadcasting now from all over Europe. Good to be here. How are you?
I feel fine. Yes,
are you happy with us?
Yeah, I'm happy with you and happy with the privilege to host this great event. It's really a privilege for the city. More a privilege because Duncan, who won the last contest in Tel Aviv, is a boy from our region. He was born not far from here, so we feel really privileged that he's our kid and that this contest is organized in Rotterdam.
Okay, and what can the fans expect from your great city?
Well, we're expecting really a lot of people all over the world, not only from Europe, to come to Rotterdam. It's a good moment. It's almost summer in May. That's really the moment that you may enjoy life, the flowers, the trees. And the city of Rotterdam, that is a really industrial city, one of the largest ports in the world, is also a very green city. I joke sometimes saying that I'm not only the mayor of Rotterdam, but I'm also the Secretary General of the United Nations of Rotterdam.
Okay.
180 nationalities. So when you come to Rotterdam, you come to see the world, the cuisine of the world, the colors, the flavors, the languages, but also the architecture. And so the city, you visit Rotterdam, you get the world for free.
We know that already.
Yeah.
But the people in Europe, they don't. And I know, for example, that you're a big football fan. A couple of years ago, the players from Feyenoord, the biggest club in Rotterdam, they were standing here outside on the balcony after they won the championship.
Waving to 10,000s of people.
Yeah. Are you a Eurovision fan as well?
I'm a fan of all types of music, and what I like about the Eurovision is not only the fact that you may listen to a variety of songs from all over Europe, but really the contest element. The competition, the voting, the tension that is linked to all that. All these families sitting on the couch home, waiting whether the country is going to do well. And all this voting, that's really the most impressive thing of the contest. Not only the music and the shows and the colors, but also the tension that is connected to the contest.
That's right. Well, this whole event is going to be one giant invasion of fans, journalists, delegates. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for Rotterdam?
Invasion is to me a negative word.
Well, it's quite big.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting an invasion. I'm expecting thousands of really great fans of music and context, lovers of the Netherlands, lovers of all the beautiful things that we have to deliver. So if you call it an invasion, call it an invasion, but of peaceful people.
Okay, thank you very much. We wish you every success. Thank you well.
Thank you.
Mr. Abu Taleb.
Okay, from Come Together, we are one to light your fire. Every year of Eurovision has had its own slogan. And yes, after weeks of intensive slogan meetings, brainstorming sessions late into the night, and not forgetting the old heated discussions by the coffee machine, we have got the slogan of 2020. Open up.
What is it really about?
oorlog in Europa was voorbij.
In a few moments, we will begin the draw that will decide in which semi-final each participating country will be placed. We wouldn't dream of attempting this alone, though. Oh no, this all happens under the watchful eye of Mr. Jan Ola Sand, the executive supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest.
But unfortunately, we know that after this Eurovision, Mr. Sand is stepping down. But we still have next May to look forward to what have now become those famous 3 words.
Before we can start, I would like to introduce to you
a very special someone.
The Mr. Miyagi of Eurovision.
The most powerful man in the room.
The coolest guy in the room.
I would call him the Yoda in our galaxy of musical stars.
The Almighty God.
This will be exciting.
Mr. Jan Ola Sand.
Mr. Jan Ola Sand. Mr. Jan Ola Sand.
Jan Ola Sand!
Thank you for your humble introduction.
Have all the votes been added up?
Yes, the votes have been added up. Selfie.
Oh!
Take it away. 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 Take it away.
Mr. Sand, this is your last time as executive supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest. How does that feel?
It feels great to be here.
Yeah?
Great to be here in Rotterdam and to oversee the last song contest I will oversee. This will be my 10th Eurovision Song Contest.
Wow.
And I must say it's never easy to leave a project. And a project like this is absolutely not easy. But I'm sure it will be taken good care of after me, and I'm looking very much forward to follow up this edition of Eurovision Song Contest and make sure it will become the best ever.
Oh, wow. Thank you. And isn't there anything else you would like to share with us? Like something...
Any secrets?
Yeah?
Only
How
about
much time do we have, actually?
Well, I have a lot of time. Let's go. Okay.
Not
no, okay, you
personal
don't. No problem. Well, thank you, Mr. Sand.
Thank you.
In just a few minutes, we will finally know the semi-final that each country will be competing in. In the meantime, we asked previous winners if they could remember where they were in the running order of the night they won the Eurovision.
Number 15, and the Euro fans told me that was a good place to be. Apparently I was far enough in that people were settled in with their cups of tea, but not so far that people had forgotten me.
Ireland.
Truth is, if you can own your 3 minutes, it doesn't really matter where you are.
Netherlands.
Many people told us that you never can win when you start a song contest. But we said to each other, we can make it, we have a good song, and people didn't forget it.
I got to be number 18. And 18 in Hebrew, it's chai. Chai, it means luck. It's like a lucky number for us.
Israel, 12 points.
Maybe because of this, maybe not. Who cares? We won, and that's it.
I remember I performed the last. Sometimes the first singers won, sometimes maybe the last, sometimes the fourth. I don't know, I think you must have the song.
Denmark, 12 points.
Well, it looks like we're going to Copenhagen next year.
I think we were number 17, and we didn't think at all that we could win.
Fly on the wings of love.
Also, bookmakers was very, very wrong. If you had €1 and you bet it on us for winning, you'll get something like €100 back. You should have done that. And I should have done that myself.
We went on second to last. And yes, I think by then people feel they've either heard the winner or they haven't. And I think by the time they heard Love Shine a Light, they thought, oh, finally, there it is, there's the winning song.
I think I was very early in the program. I think I was third or something like this. And I was happy with it. And you can win when you're number 3.
Germany, 12 points.
I was last. I was the last one to enter the stage. And it was a pressure. But I didn't have fear, so go out there and sing for your life.
Well, we have finally come to the moment when everything is ready to begin. The official allocation draw of the 65th Eurovision Song Contest.
In total, 41 countries will be participating in this year's Eurovision. There will be 2 semi-finals, which will take place, as we said earlier, on the 12th and 14th of May. From both of these semi-finals, 20 countries will qualify to compete a couple of days later on the 16th of May in the grand final.
5 countries have already qualified for the grand final, and these countries are France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. They are what we call the Big Five. And to take it to 6, they are joined, of course, by this year's host country, the Netherlands. These countries will still, however, broadcast and vote in one of the 2 semi-finals. And we will now start the draw with these countries first to determine in which semi-final they are allowed to vote.
Yes, it's time to decide the position of the countries that will participate and vote in the semi-finals of the Eurovision Song Contest 2020. Finally, for them, the moment of truth.
We have here 6 envelopes with the names of the Big Five countries and the Netherlands. So let's start by giving these envelopes a little shuffle. That's enough, I think.
That's a little shuffle.
We are ready, so let's start with the first country.
Okay, so the first country is Italy.
And Italy will vote in the first semi-final.
The second country is France.
France will vote in the second semi-final.
And now the third country, that will be the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom will vote in the second semi-final.
Okay, we're halfway through. Fourth country is Spain.
And Spain will vote in the second semi-final.
2 more to go.
Are we in a hurry?
A little bit.
Okay.
I have to catch a train. The next country is Germany.
Deutschland. Germany will vote in the first semi-final.
And now the last country, of course, that's not going to be too much of a surprise, so let's open this very quickly. Of course, it is the Netherlands.
The Netherlands will vote in the first semi-final.
So there we are, the first phase of the draw is complete. Let's have a quick recap. We have Italy, Germany and the Netherlands. They will vote in the first semi-final and vote on the 12th of May. And then France, United Kingdom and Spain They will vote in the second semi-final that will be on the 14th of May. The first 6 countries have been decided.
Now let's move on to the second phase of the draw to allocate the remaining 35 countries.
But before we move on, we're going to ask you one more time, Mr. Jon Olasand, do you have any special request from any of the participating countries that are about to be drawn? This is for you the last time in an allocation draw.
No, there has been no request this year for any change, so it's a pretty much straightforward draw. So please go ahead and show us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sand.
Now, let's explain to our audience how this works. In front of us, we have 5 round glass bowls with the names of the remaining 35 countries.
First, we will draw a country name out of bowl number 1, after that a name out of the second bowl, and then continue on to bowl number 5. These 5 countries will be in the first semi-final. We will then repeat the procedure from bowls 1 to 5 for the countries that will appear in the second semi-final. After which we return to drawing the names for the first semi-final again, and in this way we will steadily work through all the bowls and names until every country has been allocated a place.
It sounds complicated, but it's not, because in each bowl there are 7 countries, and this method of allocation is based on the voting patterns of the last 15 years, and doing it this way makes the outcome much more exciting. We have 2 more bowls over there, and from these we draw not only the semi-final in which each country will perform, but also in which half, the first or the second.
And because the number of participating countries is uneven, the host broadcasting company and the Eurovision Broadcasting Union have decided that 17 countries will perform in the first semi-final and 18 in the second. This has, of course, all been authorized by the reference group of the Eurovision Song Contest. Jan, I think we're ready, right?
We are.
Let's start the allocation draw of the 65th Eurovision Song Contest. Thank you. I will pick out a country from bowl number 1 for the first semi-final. And that country is North Macedonia.
North Macedonia, and they will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
And the next country from the second bowl is Norway.
Norway will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
The third bowl. Belarus.
Belarus, they will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
The fourth bowl. Cyprus.
Cyprus, they will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
Right, and the fifth bowl. Lithuania.
Lithuania will perform in the, sorry for that, first half of the first semi-final.
Okay, I'm going back to bowl number 1. And from there, we will continue with the second semi-final. Austria.
Austria, they will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Bowl number 2. Denmark.
Denmark will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The next country will be Moldova.
Moldova, they will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, they will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
And bowl number 5 for the second semi-final will be Poland.
Poland will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Going back to bowl number 1 for, again, the first semi-final.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, Jan, I'm ready for it too.
Take it away. Sorry, Jan.
Croatia.
Croatia, they will be in the second half of the first semi-final.
The next country will be Sweden.
Sweden. Some difficulties with the Sweden, but they will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
The third bowl, Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. They will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
And the fourth bowl for the first semi-final will be Malta.
Then Malta, they will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
And bowl number 5, Israel.
Israel will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
I'm returning to bowl number 1 again for the second semi-final. The next country is Switzerland.
Switzerland will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
And then we have here Finland.
Finland, they will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The next country is Armenia.
Armenia then, they will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
San Marino.
San Marino. They will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
And then the last bowl for this round will be Latvia.
Latvia, they will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
I'm going back to bowl number 1 again for, again, the first semi-final. The next country is Slovenia.
Slovenia, they will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
And then, what do we have here? Australia.
Australia, they will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
Bowl number 3 for the first semi-final. Ukraine.
Ukraine will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
We continue with Romania.
Romania, they will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
And then the fifth bowl for this round, it will be Ireland.
Ireland will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
Okay, Jan. Going to bowl number 1 again for the second semi-final. The country will be Serbia.
Serbia will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Bowl number 2. It's Iceland.
Iceland. They will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
And bowl number 3, that will be Georgia.
Georgia will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The fourth bowl for this round, Portugal.
Portugal will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
And bowl number 5, it's Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Okay, we have one country name left in each of the bowls, and we have just 5 places left to fill. 2 in the first semi-final and 3 in the second. I'm now going to put the names of the 5 remaining countries to be drawn here in the middle bowl.
Yes, Chantal is going to take the names out of the bowl one at a time, and I will take a scroll one by one from each of the bowls. I will take a paper scroll from the second semi-final bowl, then one from the first semi-final, then back to the second semi, and so on. And we already know that we have 17 participants in the first semi-final and 18 in the second, which is why I have 2 scrolls left in the first and 3 in the second. That's right.
Yes?
So in a moment I will take the first scroll out of the second semi-final bowl. So let's do this.
Yes, we're here now, so just let's do this. Okay, everyone, 5 countries left to be allocated a place. And the first country is Greece.
Greece. They will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
And the next country will be Belgium.
Our neighbors will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
And the next country will be Albania.
Albania will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
Okay. Only 2 countries left. Russia.
Russia will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
And then the last one. The very final country is, of course, Estonia.
And they will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Thank you. That wasn't too hard. Well, that's it. The draw is complete. All 35 countries know now when they need to put their best foot forward. Let's have another look at the draw results for both semi-finals. And the exact running order of each semi-final will be determined at a later time.
We are all so ready for this because in just over a few months we will be welcoming a huge number of fans, journalists and of course, last but not least, our fabulous singing artists for the musical spectacle of the year.
And we have a magnificent venue for you here in Rotterdam, the amazing Ahoy. Well known to Eurovision fans because here we held the final of the Eurovision back in 2007.
We're so looking forward to seeing you all back here in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, in May for the 65th Eurovision Song Contest.
Together with everyone across Europe, we are going to make something really special. Thank you all for being here today and thank you for watching.
The 2020 Eurovision Song Contest is presented by Moroccan Oil.
thuis bij Afro Tros.